So we've got our policy set. If we go over, I think a lot of us are seeing an access denied, right? One of the things to verify is, yeah, but what happens if you do index.html and it shows up, right? Now, I watched the previous version of this course, and I do know that sometimes I make mistakes. Because there was one, like I was watching, it was like, Steve talked about checking that checkbox and then didn't. Right, which I understand was added in post-editing, but as I'm reviewing my own content, I was like, could have told me. I'm pretty sure we set that default root object in CloudFront, and we all have the same issue. So I'm willing to say that it's not a you issue or a me issue. We're not going to talk about who's probably to blame here, but let's talk about how to go fix it. Because in my notes, the next line is, make sure you check this again, just in case. One thing to point out here, is this enabled? This means your CloudFront distribution is good to go. So remember I was talking a little bit about like finding the emotional patience sometimes, which is enabled and nothing works, it's safe to go fix something. If it still says deploying and it doesn't work, you're not allowed to start checking more boxes and adjusting stuff until it gets to green. That might solve your problem. That might be the right answer, but you're made no promises until that's green again. All right, so we'll go in here and let's figure out, default root object. I might have made the boo-boo this time. Let's see what happens if we get rid of, file name, index.html. There are some places where it demands the slash and some places where it refuses the slash. I would love to tell you that I've memorized all of them. I haven't. So this is to show you, if we go back to distributions real quick, you can see that it is deploying. And this sometimes will also, if you've made a major change, be going gray as well. Let's go ahead. Sometimes it will still work at all. It just means it hasn't distributed it everywhere just yet. So let's go ahead and go to the root. So that solved the problem. If you had a slash beforehand, I'll take the blame on that one. But there's a reason I had a note in here too. So I'm not taking all the blame. I'll just take this time. But we do have another error, which is intentional, which is we have that client-side routing issue again. The chat was like, is it OK? I'm like, it's OK. If you think about it, this one makes sense. This one makes sense is a strong word. This one checks out at least a little bit, which is our static website hosting was doing the work for us, and we now said CloudFront, you're in charge of this. So we're not using the static website hosting. We should go turn that off and turn off the public access to get that bucket completely locked down. And this is kind of the subtle difference between when you pasted in that URL and you selected the S3 bucket. When you pasted in the URL, it was just sending everything along to that web address, just like when we visited ourselves. The S3 bucket is actually just directly accessing that bucket. So it's not using any of those static website hosting features anymore. So we're going to kind of finish up our OAI extravaganza of happiness. We're going to go turn off the static website hosting, lock down that bucket, and be done with this. All right. At this point, I have decided that I was just going to open up a tab for each of the different views rather than jumping back and forth for my own sanity. So we'll go in here. We will edit this again. We will block all public access because, yes, now the general public does not have the public access, but CloudFront does. CloudFront is publicly accessible. We've just moved the problem down the road a little bit. So we'll hit Save Changes. And this is it's one of those things where you know that there's a chance that you might take down production if the UI makes you type in the word confirm before you do a thing, right? So we'll do that. But since we already slammed into an access denied and effectively took down production for a moment, we can be somewhat confident in this case. So we go back to properties, and we'll turn off that static website hosting. That's still not going to work because we have not re-implemented the routing. But our website is still up, right? Awesome.